Hey, good morning. Ever wondered why scientific names are so weird? Like, just just take a look at them. They're so weird and they just look so inconsistent, illogical. And not just for animals, even for different even for all single organisms, this rule applies. They all look very confusing, very weird. Now, before diving into this topic, let us clear that from where those scientific names even emerge from. The history of scientific names is that they actually derive from Latin words and Greek words, mostly Latin words. But here's the thing: this one is not a dog. This is not a dog. This is not a dog, and even this is not a dog. Then why are they even called wild dogs? Oh wait, did I say this one? Well, this is an Australian wild dog, which is also called a dingo, and this is actually a real wild dog. Yes, that exists today. But the other species that I told you about, they are not actually real wild dogs at all. They don't belong to the genus Canis. Whatever belongs to the Canis, they don't have the dog in their names. Like, for example, wolves, coyotes, and jackals. They don't have the name wild dog in them, but they are actually more closely related to a dog. Whereas this one, the African wild dog, and the Indian wild dog, which is also called the dhole, they're not actually dogs at all. Like, just why are they even called wild dogs? I don't know. I'm not sure about that. But scientifically and biologically, they're not actually dogs. Let's take another example. Let's take a look at elephants. The African bush elephant, the African forest elephant, and the Asian elephant. They are all elephants, but the Asian elephant, it belongs to a completely different genus. It's called Elephas, and the scientific name of Asian elephant is Elephas maximus. What do the African elephants belong to the genus Elephas? No, they belong to the genus Loxodonta, which is specifically for the African elephants. And why is it like this? Because although they are elephants, but they have a very different anatomical structures, their behaviors, and so many things are very different as compared to the Asian one, the Asian elephant. So there are two types of African elephants. One is the African bush elephant, which is also called the savanna elephant, and the other is the African forest elephant. But still, they both of them belong to the different species. Yes, they're both different species. African bush elephant is Loxodonta africanus, which is kind of makes sense. And the African forest elephant is Loxodonta cyclotis. Like, seriously? Why are they even different species? I mean, they might have been different subspecies of the same African elephant, but no, they're just different species. Now let's take a look at buffaloes. We have the Asian water buffalo, then we have the African Cape buffalo, and the African forest buffalo. It's the same thing, but here's a twist. It's unlike elephants. The African Cape buffalo and the African forest buffalo, they are actually of the same species. But just look at them. The Cape buffalo and the forest buffalo, they look very different from each other as compared to the elephants, the African elephants. But still, they belong to the same species. Why? Still, maybe because of DNA, maybe because of genetics. I don't know how it works. I don't know how geneticists and biotechnologists work on that. I have no idea about this. But anyway, the water buffalo, the genus is Bubalus, and species Bubalus, which sound a little bit funnier for me. So It sounds like a bubblegum company. Anyway, now let's take a look at some other animals like let's take a look at lions, tigers, and leopards. Now, a leopard that is found in Africa, the African leopard, and the leopard found in, suppose, in Sri Lanka, the Sri Lankan leopard and the African leopard, both are leopards. But why are they same species? They are just subspecies, just like the buffaloes, the African buffaloes. Then what happened to the elephants? Why are they not the same species? Why are they not the same species? Like, seriously. Same thing is going on with the buffaloes, same thing is going on with the big cats. Then why not with elephants? Why? And here's how the scientific names become even more weirder. The common name of hippopotamus is just hippopotamus. And the scientific name, guess what? Hippopotamus. Same. But what does hippopotamus actually means? It's actually derived from two Greek words, hippos and potamos. Hippos means horse and potamos means river. So basically, it's just river horse. Seriously, river horse. Like how? They are not even related to horse. But maybe, I think, whenever the people that gave its name hippopotamus, they might have thought that it's just a horse that lives on rivers, so it's just a river horse. But now we know that it's more related to cows and buffaloes. Still, we are not changing its name. Like, is this how science works? Is this how zoology, is this how this thing works? Seriously. And the scientific names for gorillas is simply gorilla. It's like, hey, look, there's a gorilla. Like, the other person will say, I know it's a gorilla. You don't have to say it twice or thrice. I know it's a gorilla. No, I'm just saying the scientific name. And what's the scientific name of chimpanzees? Pan troglodytes. And what does pan means? Just pan means chimp. Pan. This is just going out of hand. Like, seriously. Oh, and one thing is that now let's take a look at birds. We have talked about mammals, and then let's talk about birds. Oh wait, before talking about birds, let me clear something else. There is an order of mammals called Afrotheria. Like, just seriously, Afrotheria, like the beasts from Africa. But in Afrotheria, only certain animals belong to that group, such as elephants and hyraxes. If we see, anatomically, if we see that elephants and hyraxes share much common anatomy and much common genetics, even the aardvark. But calling them Afrotheria doesn't make any sense at all, because there are so many animals found in Africa, and calling them Afrotheria, it's just, how can you even say that elephants belong to Afrotheria? Like, seriously. Even lions are found in Africa, even leopards are found in Africa, and I've also seen that leopards are actually evolved from Africa, and then they migrated to Asia. Even lions, they evolved in Africa, and then they migrated to Asia, now more specifically India. So why are they not changing the names? Just why? And right now there's a controversy going on that the jackal should belong to the genus Canis or the newer genus, which is called the Lupulella. Should they belong to Canis or Lupulella? This is a debate going on among scientists, but I think it should belong to a different genus, as they share nothing common with the Canis, with the genus Canis, just like how foxes belong to the genus Vulpes. Similarly, jackal should belong to a different genus called Lupulella. I agree with that. Okay, so let's talk about birds. There is an order of birds called galliforms, where chickens, peacocks, pheasants, quails, and grouse, and a lot of birds belong to that species. They are called ground feeders. They rarely flies, but some of them can fly much higher, like the curassow, which looks a little bit of like a crow, and its head looks a little bit as a peacock. But there is a species of pheasant which looks like a peacock, but it's a pheasant. Like, how do they even classify it as a pheasant? Like, why not it's a peacock? Again, DNA, genetics. That's it. That's all they are doing, and relying only on this thing, this DNA basis, DNA samples, and all this is not the only thing to classify an organism, to know about its evolutionary history. This is not the only thing, and relying only on this thing it's a very stupid thing that they are doing. Like, is this how they work? Seriously. And you might remember that in school you have learned that reptiles are like those that crawls, like those that, put their torso, put their chest on the ground and then they crawl. But that's not true at all. Some alligators and some caiman species, they just walk. They don't crawl. They walk. Their chest does not touch the ground. And it's also not true that every reptiles lay eggs. Vipers, it's a type of snake that actually gives live birth. Yes. And some of the reptiles are not cold-blooded. Some of them are warm-blooded as well, and they have 4-chambered hearts. Like most reptiles, they do have 3-chambered hearts, but crocodilians, they have 4-chambered hearts. So whatever you learn in school is kind of like, it's partially true, but not entirely true. And the next thing is that what we learn about amphibians is that they live in both on water and on land. Amphi means both, and bia means life or adaptation. They live in both land and water, but that's not true at all. This fellow does not live in either water or on land. This one lives on trees, more specifically talking on leaves. Yeah, that's a tree frog. So how can you say that amphibians live in both water and on land? And some of them even live in deserts where there is no water at all. They are frogs as well, they are toads as well, they are amphibians as well. The book's definition doesn't make sense at all. And there are so many organisms, their scientific names, they are like, what the hell is going on? Just simply. Now, talking about scientific names, now let's talk about breeding, like what is it called, hybridizing, crossbreeding. Does crossing different species, hybridizing different species, can make a new species? No. Before knowing about this, let's be clear that what exactly is a species. A species is an organism which can, when they mate, they can reproduce. They can with the fellow members. If they mate with their fellow members, they can reproduce, and that offspring, their offspring, can also be fertile. So this is the basic definition of a species. But here's a twist: even some species become infertile. So will you not consider them as a species? Of course you will. Now what happens is that when you hybridize, suppose, let's say for example the mule, it's the hybrid version of a male donkey and a female horse. You got a mule, and if there is a female horse and a male donkey, you get a hinny. Both the mule and the hinny are infertile because they are hybridized. Hybridized animals are always infertile. Even if a mule and a hinny mates, they cannot reproduce because they are infertile. But does that mean a horse cannot be infertile? Of course it can. A donkey cannot infertile? Of course it can. Of course, even they can be infertile as well. Even lions can become infertile. Even tigers can become infertile. It's not just ligers and tigons become infertile. That's not true at all. But this is what, even if you ask the internet, even if you ask AI about this, even if you search in Wikipedia, this is what you are going to see. Like, infertile, hybridized animals, if they're infertile, they are not considered species. But that's not true. Species are actually those organisms that are evolved naturally. Like, or maybe sometimes they are like domesticated and they become completely changed, and then it's based on evolution. Hybridized animals don't evolve. They are created. They are created by like mixing different genes from different organisms, two different organisms, and then the hybridized organisms are produced. The hybridized species are produced, and not just in animals, in plants as well. This is the basic thing. Species are actually evolved either naturally or in a domestic way, or by animal husbandry, which is called animal husbandry. Either by that way or naturally. Hybridized organisms are always produced artificially. They cannot do this naturally. So hybridized animals, they are not a species. To be considered a species, they must be evolving naturally. That's the thing. Now let's talk about breeding. You might have seen a lot of breeds of dogs and cats, and a lot of domestic animals like pigs, cows, goats, sheep, horses, donkeys. Like every sorts of farm animals you can ever think of. And most breeds exist in dogs because the phrase "dogs are man's best friend." And the next thing comes cats. They're also for some of the people, they're the best friends. Now how breeding occurs is that it's not natural at all. It's completely artificial. It depends on the climate, it depends on living conditions, it depends on the environment in which they live in, and that's how they are bred. And some of them look so much abnormal, so much weird, like just because they have to look adorable, or just because they have to look more bulkier, more stronger, or maybe more skinnier, just for an athletic build, they actually suffer from severe health conditions. Yeah, that's very serious thing. Just look at a pug. Just look at the face. Does this even look like a dog? For me, no. It doesn't look like a dog at all. But let's just compare a pug to a Labrador or a German Shepherd. Which one looks more dog? Of course, the Labrador and the German Shepherd looks more dog. And even the wolf looks more like a dog. But what about the pug? Is pug a different species? No, it's a dog. Its DNA says that it's a dog. Just for breeding, it became completely weird. And not just weird, it actually suffers from severe health conditions like breathing problems, and sometimes even its eyes pops up. Like, seriously. Take a look at the Dachshund breed, or it's also called sausage dog. It's very long. If you look at the head, simple. If you look at the body, simple. Tail, simple. But what happened to its legs? It cannot run fast. It cannot sit properly. It's so much problems. This is what you call breeding. And I personally hate this kind of breeding. Let's just stop it. So this is the video about species, this is the video about scientific names and how animals are classified. Not just animals, every organisms, and how breeding happens and how hybridization occurs. So this video is all about it. So yeah, that's it for today. Thanks for watching from wherever you are watching. Thank you so much for watching this video. I hope you learned something new from this video, and yeah, and follow for more videos like this. I'll see you in the next video. Till then, take care, stay safe, and goodbye. Bro loves you.